It is 2:47 a.m., and you are finally awake, not from a nightmare, from the truth. No one is coming, not your parents, not your government, not the company that smiled when they hired you. No one is coming to save you. And the terrifying part, the part that changes everything, is that somewhere beneath the fear you already knew. It is a Tuesday in your mid-20s. The rent is due in 4 days. Your account holds $340. The fluorescent light above your desk flickers. It has flickered for 3 weeks. You stop noticing. This is the life you inherited. Not from wealth, from assumption. The assumption that if you followed the rules, school, degree, job, repeat, something would catch you. Something would hold. You followed every rule. You stood in every line. You smiled in every meeting. And here you are, $340, 4 days, a flickering light. No one told you the rules were written by people who didn't need them. No one told you the net was never really there. You do the math at the kitchen table, not on a spreadsheet. On the back of an envelope, the one the electric bill came in. Income minus rent minus food minus minimum payments. The answer is always the same. 0. Sometimes less. You are not behind on life. You are starting to understand what life actually costs. $1,200 a month in rent. $340 in groceries if you're careful. $180 in utilities. $260 in debt payments that feel permanent. The numbers don't lie. They never do. And for the first time, you stop being angry at the numbers. You start being honest with yourself. No one built this foundation for you, which means only one person can build it. You sit with that for a long time. The kitchen is cold. It is 11 p.m. You don't get up. It starts small. Everything real does. You pick up one extra shift. You sell the guitar you haven't played in 2 years. You learn one skill on a Tuesday night when everyone else is watching something they'll forget by Thursday. The first $500 you make outside your salary feels like a different kind of money, not because of the amount, because of what it means. It means the world has a door in it you didn't know was there. You made that $500 from nothing but time and a decision. You hold it, not literally, but you hold it the way you hold a thought you don't want to lose. This is proof. Small, imperfect, undeniable proof that you are not a passive character in someone else's story, that you are the author. You don't celebrate, you reinvest. The first time your account clears $10,000, you check it 3 times. Once because you don't believe it, once because you want to, once because you do. $10,000 is not rich, you know that. But $10,000 can represent the distance between drowning and treading water. It is the emergency that doesn't become a catastrophe. It is the month you don't panic. It is the first breath you have taken in years that doesn't cost something. You don't buy anything. You sit in your car in the parking lot of a grocery store and you feel the silence of not being afraid. Just for a moment. Just tonight. Then you think about $50,000, then $100,000, not from greed, from a new feeling you don't have a name for yet. It is somewhere between hunger and peace. It is the taste of building something that is entirely yours. Nobody sees it yet. That's the strangest part of accumulating wealth from $100,000 to $300,000. You look the same. You dress the same. You still drive the same car with the cracked dashboard. But something has shifted beneath the surface. Something structural. You stop reacting to small financial shocks. The car repair doesn't spiral. The slow month doesn't become a crisis. You start thinking in years, not weeks. And in that silence, in that invisible private accumulation, you begin to understand something many of the wealthy have long known. Money, at a certain level, stops being about spending. It becomes about options. The option to say no, the option to wait, the option to choose your next move instead of having it chosen for you. No one throws you a party. No one marks the moment. You pass through $200,000 like it's a door in a hallway that only you can see. You keep walking. This is the part they don't warn you about. You are changing. And the people around you are staying the same. Not because they're wrong, not because you're better, but because you made a different decision on a Tuesday night 3 years ago when no one was watching. You sit at a dinner table with people you've known your entire life and you feel the distance. Not money distance, mindset distance. They talk about the same problems the same way they talked about them 5 years ago, and you understand fully and quietly that the gap is not closing. You love them, you stay. But something in you has permanently left the room. This is the fracture. It doesn't bleed, it doesn't announce itself. It just opens, slowly, like a window in winter, letting in cold air and clarity in equal measure. No one tells you about this tax. It doesn't appear in any budget. It doesn't show up on any spreadsheet. But you pay it. Every single month, the loneliness tax. It is the cost of being understood by fewer and fewer people. Your old friends think you've changed. They're right. But changed is not the word they mean as a compliment. Your family worries in a different way now. They say things like, just be careful and don't forget where you came from, as if ambition is a kind of forgetting. You don't explain yourself anymore. You stop trying around month 18. Instead, you find the others. The ones who are also awake at 11 p.m., not from anxiety but from focus. They don't celebrate your wins loudly. They just nod. Because they know. You build a smaller circle, but it is made of something different now. It is made of people who understand that no one is coming to save them either, and chose to save themselves anyway. It is a Tuesday. Of course it is. Nothing cinematic ever happens on a Friday. You are sitting at your desk. It is mid-morning. The light is gray and flat, coffee going cold in the mug to your left. You open your account, not to check if you have enough. That question left your body a long time ago. You open it because you're deciding something, an investment, a move, a bet on yourself that the old version of you would have called reckless and the new version of you calls calculated. You make the decision. You close the laptop, and you notice something missing. The fear. Not the excitement. That's still there. Not the ambition. That never left. But the fear. The low, constant hum of financial terror that lived in your chest for most of your adult life. It is gone. You don't mark the moment with champagne. You don't call anyone. You pick up the coffee. It is cold. You drink it anyway. Because you are not the kind of person who waits for things to be perfect before they move. You are not who you were. Not in the way people say it as a warning. In the way it simply, factually, is. The person who sat in that flickering light with $340 in 4 days, that person made you. You don't erase them. You carry them. But you are no longer waiting. Not for permission. Not for rescue. Not for the economy to behave, or the market to be kind, or someone with power to notice you. You stopped waiting the night you did the math on the back of an envelope and decided the answer was unacceptable. That was the moment. Not the $10,000, not the $100,000, not the quiet Tuesday when the fear went silent. The moment was the decision. The decision that you were the variable. Not the economy, not your background, not the flickering light. You. And now, years later, in a room that is warm and paid for and quiet, you understand something that cannot be taught in any classroom or promised by any government or handed to you by anyone who is never going to come anyway. You are the only rescue that was ever going to arrive. You just had to stop waiting long enough to become it. It is 2:47 a.m. somewhere. Someone is finally awake. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's the first night of the rest of everything. This is for education and entertainment only, not financial advice.